based on the works of Karol Vyshinsky. Diaries of Magic Eyes.
September 17th. Dear Diary, yesterday was the official end of the festival, so my work as a waitress ended. Now I can fully focus on being a mercenary. Plamina is recovering. She is very grateful to me, but she has not told anyone the reason for her kidnapping. However, I have noticed a strange reaction in her. Every time she tries to address me, she stutters a little, as if she was going to say something else, but she tries to avoid it at all costs. When I asked what was going on, she said that I reminded her of someone and it would be rude to address me in an inappropriate way. It was quite painful for her, so I decided not to pursue it. Leaving this topic, I used Bulbor's contacts and bought an upgrade for my protection. I wanted to save weight, so I stuck to leather, but reinforced with chain mail. There was an option to buy armor made of light alloys, but despite the discount, it was still too expensive, and besides, I would stand out too much. I thought about changing my coat to a new one because I had to sew this one several times, but I feel sorry for it. I decided to keep it. Today I wanted to accept a commission to escort a caravan, but unfortunately the requirement was for a minimum of 5 people, so I couldn't do it myself. When someone finally volunteered, they already had a 5-person team and didn't want to accept me. Bulbor promised me priority in the orders, but said that if I didn't find someone by evening, he would have to give the order to someone else. After an hour of waiting, I managed to do it, although I didn't know whether to be happy or not. Dobrzegnew and his team reported to the reception with the order. There were only 4 of them, so the receptionist called me over. Our jerk was really surprised to see me, then indignantly announced that he didn't intend to cooperate with some novice who was only a waiter, especially since I was a woman. The receptionist replied in an embarrassed voice that I was a full-fledged mercenary and had a higher rank than them. After these words, he practically had to pick his jaw up off the floor. In the end, we had 2 options: either accept the task together or forget about it. We decided to work together. It was only about noon, so there was still a chance for the caravan to set off. The atmosphere between us was initially quite tense, especially between me and Dobrzegnew. As for Bratimir, Izber, and Jarmila, I must say that they are good people, completely incompatible with their leader. Thanks to this, we quickly found common ground. I learned that they all knew each other since childhood, which is why they get along great. I haven't seen them in combat yet, but from what I've seen, Dobrzegnew uses a metal chest plate with a helmet and fights with a shield and a mace. I thought he was a mature man because of his beard, but after a closer look, he, like the rest of them, can't be much older than me, if at all. Looking at Bratimir, he is well-built, has light armor, and fights with a spear, just like me. Izber is also well-built like his brother. He is the best armored, a heavy leather jacket with pants covered in the most vulnerable places with sheet metal. In such a situation, there are only a few places where you could inflict serious damage, and he fights with a sword and shield, which only increases his defense. I also noticed that he has feelings for Jarmila, who reciprocates this feeling. Moving on to her, she only wears a leather jacket. She is definitely the least equipped of the whole team, but she doesn't need anything more because she uses a bow. It seems to me that they complement each other well. One thing is for sure, they spend a lot of money on equipment. I couldn't afford such. I noticed one thing, but it could be my imagination. I have the impression that Bratimir has feelings for his brother's beloved. The way he looks at them, I don't know, maybe it's just me.